Now that we've had some time to work with rational functions and sketching the various parts of rational functions, we're now going to move into actually simplifying expressions. And fortunately, we've had a little bit of experience with this, dealing with the functions. Now, we're going to layer in some other parts to the simplification process, such as multiplying and dividing the different rational expressions. So let's just take a quick look here and review a little bit the rational expressions. If we want to simplify a rational expression, basically we want to cancel out any common factors that are in the numerator and the denominator. First of all, I have to be able to factor everything comfortably before we thus eliminate or divide out any of those common factors. And so you can see here in this first example, we have a common x value that can be factored out of both parts, and then of course that can simply be marked out or canceled out or divided out, however you want to look at it. So x over x equals to 1, and then we no longer have that. If you look at example number 1, we have a little bit more complex view of some polynomials in each numerator and denominator, and so a little bit more factoring involved, but again, still the same deal. We cancel out the common parts, leaving us with just the simplified version. Now, one of the things that you're going to see in this particular unit is a term called the excluded value. Keep in mind the excluded value is just a fancy term for the number that makes the rational expression undefined. So we've already been doing that on a regular basis whenever we were finding vertical asymptotes and holes in rational functions. Those values that made the function undefined are just now going to be termed their excluded values. So nothing more than that should be a very comfortable transition for you. So let's take a look at a couple problems here. Sample problem number 1, if you go ahead and work on that, and then we'll come back and take a look at the solution. So first thing we need to do is we need to actually factor both the numerator and the denominator. Now that I've factored both the numerator and the denominator, I can cancel out the common parts, leaving me with simply x minus 6 over x minus 1 as the simplified expression. Now, part B asks us to find the excluded values. Now, keep in mind that the excluded value goes back to the original, not the simplified version. Okay, so basically we need all of the values that make this rational expression undefined. The way that you can do that is just set that equal to 0. Now, most of you should probably be able to just quickly figure this out in your head, but if you needed to actually do this mathematically, you could just set the denominator equal to 0 and then solve for x. And we get plus or minus 1 as the excluded values. Notice that if we would have only done it on the simplified version, we would have missed one of the excluded values. Alright, so that's a quick introduction to simplifying rational expressions.